Hello and welcome to Look North, the main news from our region this lunchtime.
What do we want? Pay restoration! When do we want it? No!
The longest strike in the history of the NHS gets underway as our region's junior doctors join a 6-day walkout. And we hear from the owner of a small West Yorkshire bus firm who fears he may have to close down. Hello, thanks for joining us. Junior doctors in Yorkshire have joined colleagues across England today in a 6-day strike over pay. It's expected to be the longest continuous stretch of industrial action in the history of the NHS and means thousands of operations and appointments have had to be postponed or cancelled. Hospital bosses are warning it comes at an already challenging time. Our health correspondent Jamie Coulson reports.
What do we want? Pay restoration!
This is the 9th time junior doctors have walked out on strike in their long-running pay dispute with the government. Doctors here at Leeds General Infirmary have joined colleagues across England in the 6-day stoppage, which will be the longest in the history of the NHS.
We don't want to be here, but we feel the government, are forcing this on the public and on doctors by, not making any steps reversing pay erosion.
It is one of the busiest times of the year, but I would like to reassure any patients that are in need of urgent medical attention that the hospital is being looked after by our consultants and specialty doctor colleagues.
Junior doctors are back on the picket lines after negotiations with the government broke down last month. The British Medical Association is calling for pay restoration back to 2008 levels. It would require a 35% uplift. The government has said that is unaffordable and has called for the union to call off the strikes so they can get back to the negotiating table. This strike comes at a busy time for the NHS, adding to the pressures hospitals are already facing.
The main areas of pressures that we are seeing at the moment is a huge increase in the number of patients with respiratory problems, COVID and flu type illnesses, and also in the number of vulnerable patients who are in hospitals. Our hospitals are very full as we're going into the longest junior doctor strike in history.
A 3-day junior doctors' strike before Christmas led to 6,653 outpatient appointments being postponed across the 13 hospital trusts in our region. A further 633 procedures also had to be rescheduled.
We have already moved when it comes to reflecting the pressures on doctors at the beginning of their careers, but we cannot continue these negotiations if we have this strike action hanging over the whole of the NHS.
The British Medical Association has today called for the government to make a credible pay offer, but for now the strike continues. Jamie Coulson, BBC Look North.
In other news, 2 teenagers were stabbed at Meadowhall Shopping Centre, leaving one of them seriously hurt, police have now confirmed. 2 men aged 19 were taken to hospital. 1 remains there with serious injuries. 2 other men aged 20 and 24 were arrested on suspicion of assault. The police believe the incident, which happened just after 6 p.m. yesterday, involves a group of men who do know each other. Inquiries are ongoing, but the police cordon that you can see there has now been removed. South Yorkshire Police say they're seeing an increased number of calls asking for advice now that it's a legal requirement to keep XL bully dogs on a lead and muzzled when in public. The rules came into place on the 31st of December. It's now also illegal to breed, sell, advertise, gift or abandon an XL bully. Police say if you have concerns about a dog in your community to contact them. And from the 1st of February, all XL bully dogs must be registered. Owners must hold public liability insurance, have the dog microchipped and need to prove the dog has been neutered. Now, a shake-up of the way buses are run in West Yorkshire could see small bus companies forced to close. That's according to one operator. The West Yorkshire Combined Authority is looking at introducing franchising, meaning they would decide which companies can run the services. But the managing director of Connections Buses says if his firm doesn't win a contract, they won't be able to operate in West Yorkshire, and that could be the end of their business. Here's Spencer Stokes.
In a small bus company, even the managing director works as a driver. Craig Temple set up Connections Buses, a family-run firm that he fears could be wiped off the map by bus franchising. Since the 1980s, private bus companies have been able to run services where and when they want. But the plan for franchising would see the West Yorkshire Combined Authority handing out contracts to specific firms. No contract, no right to run a bus on that route.
I think it's the biggest challenge that we've faced for a long time. I'd like to hope that the authority would look after smaller operators because they say they're going to, but it does have the potential to put us out of business.
In 2024, West Yorkshire's Mayor Tracy Brabin will decide if franchising should go ahead. If it does, there'll be one bus brand for West Yorkshire, with routes, timetables, bus frequency and fares set by the Combined Authority. It's already happening in Greater Manchester, where just one contract has gone to a small independent firm. But the Combined Authority say, we recognise the important role smaller operators play in West Yorkshire's bus network, and we believe their involvement is vital for delivering competition and ensuring the best value for taxpayers. In recent weeks, campaigners who support public control have taken to the road, hiring a bus and driving it around Bradford.
The UK is the only place in Europe that runs this absurd system of handing complete control over to a patchwork of private companies that can't then integrate the services in the public interest. We need to get back on that European model and get back in the fast lane.
A public consultation ends on January the 7th, with the Mayor expected to make a decision on whether franchising goes ahead later in the spring. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North.
Next, York Council is asking landlords to consider renting their property to a homeless family. An increase in government funding means the council can cover the rent for 12 months. That's if landlords apply by the end of March. The move is part of a Your Home programme to increase the number of landlords willing to house homeless people. And blue badge holders in York will be able to park in the city centre today, again from tomorrow. Disabled parking in pedestrianised areas was permanently banned by the Lib Dem and Green Council in 2021 to make way for measures to protect against vehicle-based terror attacks. Well, the ban's been reversed by the new Labour Council, and blue badge holders will regain access via Goodram Gate. Right then, we're all hoping for some better weather, aren't we? Paul's here. How's it looking?
Definitely trending drier and colder, but not until tomorrow. But there is a big change on the way, thank goodness. But in the short term, we have got a number of showers. In fact, it's been quite wet across parts of South Yorkshire, those showers heading into Lincolnshire. But although this is a messy looking chart, the thing to take away from it is that the low pressure clears off and pressure builds. That's high pressure just in time for the weekend, and that's going to be there or thereabouts, I would think, until the middle of January, something like that. So we are entering a very different type of weather and a much better type of weather. There's the showers that have been affecting South Yorkshire, over towards Lincolnshire to the north, western North Yorkshire, just seeing isolated showers, and we'll continue to see those showers fairly static, drifting ever eastwards. Further north, that's the best place for any brightness, and we'll see top temperatures around 8 or 9 degrees. So this evening and overnight we will continue to see showers, some of them quite lively again. South Yorkshire, perhaps parts of West Yorkshire too, to the north and the east. There should be a good deal of fine weather, temperatures down to 4 degrees. And then tomorrow we'll get off to that showery start, those overnight showers gradually drifting away northeastwards through the morning. The sun coming out across South Yorkshire. The afternoon looks a lot better, most of us dry with sunny spells. Temperatures coming in at around about 8 degrees, and then mostly dry Friday and the weekend. That's the forecast.
Much better. You can actually see some green on that map, not like yesterday. Phil Bodmer is back at 6:30 from the lunchtime team. Goodbye.